Hi, welcome to this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Monday, March 18th, basketball slate, no college games today that we're on, just NBA as the selection committee made its selection for the NCAA tournament yesterday. And we will have a separate show either late today, tomorrow, on all of our picks for the bracket, and we'll go through those as the Thursday and Friday of this week, probably the two most exciting gambling days in sports. It's nothing but wake up until you pass out type of thing of sports gambling on Thursday and Friday. The first two rounds of the first round of the tournament, absolutely awesome. If you've never been to a sports book, highly recommend Thursday and Friday if you get an opportunity to spend a couple hours at a sports book. It's fantastic with all the games going on, everything like that. We will be at the compound watching everything in Quad Box, but it is awesome, especially if you're out in Vegas. If you get a chance to go to Circa, this is one of the best weekends of the year to be out in Vegas for sure. So at all the fancy sports books that they have out there. Here in Phoenix, there's a couple brand new sports book that's really strong that was actually designed by the same guy with Circa, but so might be spending a little bit of time out there this weekend. But anyway, we will get into the NBA slate. We actually have a pretty full slate of NBA games. Looks like 7 games overall. Some pretty interesting matchups as well. We're also going to later today, we'll have our season-long futures baseball show as the Souls series gets underway with a couple games this week. And we'll get into the rest of it. Had a great weekend basketball-wise. Golf was fantastic to us this weekend as well. We also have Formula One's back this week with Australia, so it's an extremely busy week. So let's get into the basketball side of things today and get you going here. So first game up, 4:10 out here in Phoenix, 7:10 Eastern. Cavs going to the Pacers. Cavs 6.5-point dog heading to Indiana, to Indianapolis there to take on Halliburton and the Pacers. So let's break down this matchup a little bit. The biggest thing here, I think, is going to be that Donovan Mitchell out again. So as the Cavs have kind of struggled mightily, would be the best way to put it, here as of late. The Pacers, get a decent win against the Nets. The Nets are nothing special. The Nets aren't going to the playoffs. They're not even currently in the play-in and don't look like they're going to make it there. But the Pacers have been good at home. The line is 6.5. Little daunting here, I think, as the Cavs are one of the better teams. But without Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, I love watching him play, folks. I'm going to be honest, but he can be extremely frustrating as you sit there. And it's like if he misses one of his first 2 threes, he wants to get into pass mode. And he does dribble the ball way too much, to put it mildly in that one. Put it mildly with that, I guess I should say. But we do like the Pacers here in this one. I'll be really honest with you. This matchup earlier in the season when Halliburton was healthy before the hamstring injury and Donovan Mitchell was healthy, more of a barn-burning game for us. And the Pascal Siakam's a very nice piece, I think, for the Pacers. And probably when you look at it from Indy's point of view, what other star are we going to be able to get here to Indianapolis anyway to go with Halliburton? So I understand making the trade. Is he the perfect fit? I don't think so. In a slower offense, I think he's fantastic. He does a lot of great things in the paint around the ball. Not a great 3 shooter. Does play good defense, can rebound, and he can pass in the middle, which makes it nice. But the team has struggled a little bit, no question about it. They're not that high-flying, loads of fun offense as before, but, looks like they're going to make the playoffs, though, which is important, I think, in Indianapolis to keep this train rolling here. And then with Mathurin coming back next season, after that bad injury for the Pacers there, I think they really got something cooking for the future. The question is, they're going to be able to play defense with it. So, but we do like the Pacers in this matchup here. Well, let's run through the bets that we've got in this game here. So Pacers minus 1.5 first quarter, minus 3.5 first half, and then minus 6.5 for the game. And then Darius Garland, who we mentioned before. We love Garland. Sometimes he gets us in a little bit of trouble, not going to lie. But Garland over 22.5 points. We just hope if he hits one of his first couple threes, we're in really good shape on this mark. Garland 4+ threes and 5+ threes. Miles Turner over 16.5 points, 2+ threes over 25.5 par. And Pascal Siakam over 21.5 points and over 32.5 par. And if you're new to the show, par is points, assists, and rebounds combined. I'm on that one. So let's go through this Pacers Cavs bets one more time for you. Pacers -1.5 first quarter, -3.5 first half, -6.5 for the game. Darius Garland over 22.5 points, 4+ threes and 5+ threes. Miles Turner over 16.5 points, 2+ threes over 25.5 par. And Siakam over 21.5 points and over 32.5 par. There's a couple guys in the NBA I think it would be really interesting to watch if they could develop an outside shot. Siakam's one of them. If he can consistently hit a couple threes a game, not only would you see his scoring go up tremendously, but I think he'd have a lot easier rolling to the rim. A guy we're going to go through later, Jonathan Kuminga, if he could develop a three-point shot as well, the kid is absolutely, I think, ready to be a star in this league. So, or getting right there at the cusp. So, if they could develop those two guys, especially if they could develop a consistent three-point shot, or just to keep the defense honest, hit a couple of those a game, maybe take two. Not saying you got to hit 40%, but one night you go 2 for 5, one night you go 2 for 6. That puts you right around that 36% range. That would get you right where you need to be, I think, to keep the defense even a little bit more honest, have them come up more on you, and give you more driving lanes to the hole. So next game up that we're going to be here is the Heat at the 76ers. Heat currently 2-point dog against the 76ers here. 208.5 total this game in Philly. I'm a little confused by this one. The Heat have won all 3 games so far in this set. Duncan Robinson has been tremendous against the 76ers as well, so he'll be kind of a focus for us today. Tobias Harris, doing what Tobias Harris does, which is underperform, to put it mildly, for the 76ers. Tyrese Maxey, no Embiid. So where do you really go here? The Heat can be a little frustrating as well because offensively they're limited on what they can do. So with Hero being out, Kevin Love's been out, they're just a little limited. I mean, Jimmy Butler's playoff. Jimmy's real, no question about that. But that's when the game slows down a little bit more, so he comes a little bit more prevalent. Bam Adebayo, another one of those guys, if he could just develop a shot where you have any inkling that he might take a 3. Can you imagine what Bam Adebayo would be doing? He puts up tremendous numbers with no threat of a three-pointer, let alone with threat. So on that one there. The 76ers are just hot mess. They're in the play-in currently. I don't think they're going to fall out of the play-in, so the question is, does Joel Embiid come back? If I'm the 76ers, even if he's ready to go, I don't let him come back. This season's kind of, I don't want to say an absolute waste, but it's, there's a lot of question marks. And not only that, you're going to play the Celtics. Even if you get through the play-in, you're going to play the Celtics or the Bucks round 1. And I'll be really honest with you, I don't like the matchup against the Celtics at all, especially with an Embiid that's, maybe not fully all the way back. But one nice thing, if he does come back, he should have fresh legs for the playoffs. I just don't know if they're going to allow him to come back or if he's going to even be ready to do so. Just kind of build up for next year as the 76ers try to, get pieces to build around Embiid and Maxey. It's a shame. I'm a big KU fan from the Midwest. Love watching Embiid there. And his NBA career has been the high of highs, except for winning a championship. He's won an MVP. He's been fantastic, and the low of lows with all the injuries that he's endured through his career. So we do like the Heat in this particular matchup. We mentioned 2 guys as well in this one that we want to focus on as well for player props. So we're going to take the Heat +0.5 first quarter, +0.5 first half, and +2 for the game. If you would rather play money line, I don't blame you here. I think the Heat win this game outright. Tobias Harris is one of those guys that we mentioned, under 16.5 points, under 26.5 par. Has not been fantastic at all. He's had a couple blips of games where he's actually went off. Normally those are games where he hits a 3 early and at home. This is one of those home spots, but the Heat do play great defense. I don't think he'll be taking a lot of wide open threes in this one. The other guy we mentioned, Duncan Robinson, has had really good games against the 76ers so far this season, whether coming off the bench or in the starting lineup. So we like the starting minutes here even more. Over 15.5 points. We'll also take Duncan Robinson, 20-plus points. It was plus 230 on DraftKings this morning. Robinson, 3+ threes, 4+ threes, and 5+ threes. We're going to take all those bets. We were waiting for a couple other books to open up on them, so I don't have the exact juice that we're going to get at those yet, but we will be playing Robinson 3, 4, and 5+ threes. He has hit 5 threes in all the games so far. They've played it against the 76ers. So one more time, Heat 76ers matchup in Philly. Heat plus a half first quarter. Heat plus a half first half. Heat plus 2 for the game. Tobias Harris under 16.5 points and under 26.5 par. Duncan Robinson over 15.5 points. Also 20-plus points. 3+ threes, 4+ threes, and then 5+ threes in that one as well. And we might have a couple more player props in that particular game as well. Just kind of waiting for a few more lines to pop out. Next game up, Pistons at the Celtics. This line has just, I think it opened at 12.5, 13. We're up to 15.5. Celtics at home, 15.5 point favorite, 223 total. They're a 15.5 point favorite, and you don't even know who the hell's going to play. That's what makes this game even more impressive than what it is. Cade Cunningham, he's a game time decision tonight. Cade's struggled the last few games after having a 10-game stretch off the All-Star break. I thought he was ready to kind of maybe take this thing over and kind of step back just a little bit on that one. Celtics yesterday, runaway win. Tatum had 30 points and didn't even have to play till late into the fourth quarter. Had a fantastic first half. The Celtics hit a shit ton of threes yesterday, and when they hit threes, they're unstoppable. The Wizards weren't going to put up any fight, but if they hit threes like that against any team, no team's going to remain close. It's just the way. The way to beat the Celtics is if you need them to not shoot fantastic from 3. That's the only way you're really going to beat them. Now, you can play defense to make them not shoot well from 3. That's always an option for all you NBA teams out there. It's just that's kind of how they are. That when they're hitting threes and everybody's healthy, they're a hard team to match up with and to beat. Looks like Porzingis probably going to be out for another game. I think this is 5 or 6 in a row he's missed there. Porzingis, he makes this team almost unbeatable in a series with the way he kind of opens the floor up for everybody. Not only can he shoot the 3 and being as big as he is, but he's fantastic off the pick and roll. Definitely creates some mismatches underneath. Plays some pretty decent defense on blocking shots. Not a fantastic rebounder, but can block some shots, rim protection a little bit there. And, Jrue Holiday, I think, was probably the biggest pickup. Even if they didn't have Porzingis this season, I think picking up Holiday when they did was a fantastic deal. Now they have that one-on-one defender. He can guard almost 1 through the 5. Jrue Holiday can. They haven't even hardly used him offensively this season. He still had a fantastic season if you consider just the defensive side of the ball. Like I said, they're the team to beat, I think, in the NBA when it comes to the playoff time. The only team that's really going to beat the Celtics is probably themselves and maybe some colder shooting nights, or this unbelievable thing. Like in a close game, it feels like they have to feed Tatum the ball. There are so many options. This team does not need to rely on one of the guys. Brown, Tatum, Porzingis, Holiday, all 4 of those guys can shoot and make shots. Even Derek White, I like him a little bit more at home than on the road for Derek White, but all those guys can hit big-time shots. They just don't need to feed them at crunch time. But anyway, in this game here, we do not have a bet as of yet. The line's a little heavy at 15.5 with not knowing exactly who's going to play. So we're going to wait this one out. So I'll mention this, and this is at every show that we do. At the end of every show, in the comments section, there will be a link to our Google Sheets. This is a ledger of all of our bets, what juice we got those bets at, also how many units we bet, what book we placed them at, then obviously the result once the game's finished. But this is going to be one of those games you need to come back to. It's kind of like the Celtics game yesterday. We had to play a lot of bets closer to game time, as a lot of things weren't sure who was going to play what. We even got the Giannis injury snuck up on us yesterday against Phoenix. It still worked out, but we had a lot of void bets in that one here. So we're going to just lay off of this game currently. We will be back to this game, so please do make sure you check out those Google Sheets. When you do get into the Google Sheets, once you hit that link, I will give you kind of a slight tutorial there. There's going to be multiple tabs underneath. That's for the different sports. There's a couple seasons of football, a couple seasons of baseball. Then we also get into, there's this year of basketball, and then there's a non-mainstream sport tab where we put golf, Formula One, a little bit of NASCAR here and there, UFC. We put all of that together in there, or if there's any oddball things that we might play, like I'm sure we'll have a Kentucky Derby better too that we'll even have listed there. So make sure you do check those out when you get some time. But that's our ledger of everything on how we've done. We also tally for the season, how we've done on a daily basis. Basketball's been really good here as of late, so make sure you check those out because we are valuing better, folks. It's almost impossible to keep up with what we do in one show. We have. I think we got close to 100 bets today already, and we'll be adding more before game time. We try to put this out as early as possible, but when you do so, not everything's available as of yet, especially if you're trying to play a guy that's maybe not a main star or starter. If you're trying to play a bench guy, a lot of times you're not going to catch those lines till probably an hour and a half before game time. So next game up, Blazers at the Bulls, 5:10 out here in Phoenix, so 8:10 Eastern time. On that one, Blazers headed to Chicago. Chicago 8.5 point home favorite, 213.5 total. There's nothing really to like about the Blazers on the road. Now, Ayton has been on a tear for the Blazers here as of late, but all of those games were at home. So when you look back, his last 3 or 4 games, he's been putting up damn near 30 and 18 a game, and his point total, when you look at it, it's only like 19.5, 20.5, depending on what book you're looking at. So it looks like an easy play so far, like to go there, but those games have been at home. And to be really honest, I put up with Ayton here in Phoenix for many years, so we saw him on a daily basis, and it was not a lot of fun as the number 1 pick overall. Never really seemed to. He gave one really great, fantastic playoff run of the season when the Suns made it to the NBA Finals against the Bucks. But other than that, there wasn't much to speak of in the Ayton career besides injuries, getting suspended, and not living up to the billing. But that being said, even with the Bulls with Kobe White, looks like he's going to be out again tonight. We expect the Bulls to kind of run over Portland here, and Portland helping them out a bunch as they typically won't put up a big fight offensively against them as well. So we do like the Bulls minus 2.5 first quarter, minus 5.5 first half, minus 8.5 for the game. Vucevic for the Bulls, 12 plus rebounds. Blazers under the 102.5 team total. And then Ayo Dosunmu, we're on here for quite a few props. Over 17.5 points, 20 plus points, 3 plus threes. And then we're also going to take him for 5 plus assists. And that 5 plus assists, folks, was pretty juicy. So if you don't want to play the 5 and play the 6, he's a lot more consistent at that 5 number. But it is heavily juiced, so just keep that in mind on that one. And then Dosunmu over 27.5 par. So one more time in this Bulls and Trailblazers matchup, Bulls minus 2.5 first quarter, minus 5.5 first half, minus 8.5 for the game. Vucevic for the Bulls, 12 plus rebounds. Blazers under the 102.5 team total. And then Dosunmu over 17.5 points, 20 plus points, 3 plus threes, 5 plus assists, and over 27.5 par. Excuse me there. Next game up on the board, T-Wolves at the Jazz. T-Wolves currently 6.5 point favorite, 223 total in Salt Lake City. This game was about an 8.5 point. On Saturday night, they played this game in Salt Lake as well. I believe the Trailblazers were right around 8.5 point favorite in that one. They win by 19. The line comes down to 6.5. Couple of reasons. Lauri Markkanen, game time decision, but looks like he's probable for tonight. So his first game back in quite some time. Not sure on Keontae George why there wasn't any player props available. We definitely want to look at turnovers for Keontae in that one. As the T-Wolves turn you over quite a bit. That defense is real in Minnesota this season. Anthony Edwards point total like 31.5. I recommend if you want to play anything for Edwards at 31.5, just try to play the 30. You're going to pay definitely some more juice for that, but he hits 31 in the last game. I don't think there's an absolute ton of value there, but he is their main offensive scoring option, obviously, without Karl Anthony Towns. Now, Jaden McDaniels is a good option as well there. Rudy Gobert looks like he's supposed to be back for tonight as well. So it should be an interesting matchup here, especially these games that are back-to-back against the same team and in the same city. They did have the night off on Sunday, but just playing on Saturday. Obviously, they know each other well, but know each other even a little bit better in this couple-game stretch. So we do like the T-Wolves in this one here. I don't foresee a reason why, but I know Markkanen's probably going to be back, so that's a reason for the line move, but you would think it would be the other way a little bit, especially with the 19-point victory, or at least stay at the same 8.5. But we do like the T-Wolves -2 first quarter, -3.5 first half, and -6.5 for the game. Anthony Edwards, which we mentioned before, 30-plus points. We'll also take Edwards at 3+ threes. We'll also take Edwards at 35-plus points. It was +160 on FanDuel. I don't know if he's got much more in him than 35. I don't think he's got enough maybe to get to 40. It is the Jazz defense, so it's always a possibility on that one. But if they get out big, they'll also get an opportunity to sit him as well. So, and then we like Jaden McDaniels, 10-plus points. And then McDaniels, 2+ threes. It is big juice for him to hit 2 3-pointers, +185 on FanDuel for Jaden McDaniels on that one. And then we like Rudy Gobert, rebound and blocks as usual. So Gobert, 14-plus rebounds, 16-plus rebounds, and 3+ blocks. Then, like I said, we might come back to this game. We're waiting on Keontae George props to kind of pop open as well. So if you are looking at the Google Sheet, you will see a couple blank spaces because we're anticipating those. So T-Wolves -2 first quarter, -3.5 first half, -6.5 for the game. Anthony Edwards, 30-plus points. Edwards, 35-plus points and 3+ threes. Jaden McDaniels, 10-plus points and 2+ threes. Then we'll also play Rudy Gobert, 14-plus rebounds, 16-plus rebounds, and 3+ blocks. Next game up on the board, Knicks going to Golden State in San Francisco there. Knicks come off a big win against Portland, but it's still a big win. Warriors come off a big win as well. They played the Lakers, getting that W there. Anthony Davis gets the eye swollen shut. If anything bad can happen, Anthony Davis can figure out how to make it happen. I love AD when he plays, man, but sometimes it's like, oh my God, what is it now? It's kind of like when you have a toddler and they're always getting nicked up. Seems to be the thing with Anthony Davis. It's unfortunate that it happens to him on there, but it does. I mean, him and Embiid same affliction of just injured quite a bit. Embiid seems to be, though, when he gets hurt, he's out for months. When AD he's a game-time decision every game, just like LeBron is on that one. But enough about that. Knicks, Warriors laying the 6.5. Steph Curry finally comes back in the last matchup. It doesn't shoot great from 3, but still ends up with 31 points. Jonathan Kuminga, fantastic game. In fact, he is our best bet for the night over points tonight as well. We expect another big one out of him, even though the Knicks do play some defense, slow the pace down a little bit. We still expect the Warriors to kind of get up and go here a little bit. And Kuminga should have plenty of opportunities to drive it to the hole, we think, in this one as well. When his line's below 20, I think you just have to smash it when it comes to points. So on that one there. But Jalen Brunson, what can be said besides if it wasn't for him, the Knicks might have 10 wins on the season. They're dealing with injuries, OG Anunoby as well. So we'll see what's going to happen there. Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle still out. Can they make a run in the playoffs? I don't think the Knicks can. I think the Knicks are going to, first round of the playoffs, make a series tough for somebody. But without any additional help, I don't see how. Now, Josh Hart has been fantastic on the boards. If you have not seen Josh Hart play, close your eyes when he shoots the ball because it's ugly. It's definitely not, he's never going to be in the category of sweet stroke on there. But when that man can rebound the F out of the ball, it's fantastic to watch him rebound. If you like to watch guys rebound, He reminds me of a lot of Rodman, who seems like he just seems to have the right angle every time for this one. So, like I said, this game we do like the Warriors, but there are some pieces on the Knicks side that we really enjoy watching. But let's get into the bets that we have for this game. This is our most heavily bet game as well. So Warriors -1.5 first quarter, -3.5 first half, -6 for the game. We mentioned just a minute ago, Jonathan Kuminga will be our best bet of the day, over 17.5 points on FanDuel, and it was like -120 on that one there. Jonathan Kuminga, 20-plus points. We'll also play Brunson, 30-plus points. Kuminga, 1+3. Kuminga over 25.5 par. Brunson, which we mentioned, the 30-plus points. We're going to stay away from the threes on Brunson as they're starting to get now. You got to bet that he's going to make 4. A lot more comfortable at that 3 number, but the juice is through the roof. Steph Curry over 25.5 points. Now, he was 26.5 on a couple different books. FanDuel still had him at 25.5 points. Steph Curry, 5+ threes, 3+ threes. We went through the Kuminga over 17.5 points, 20+ points, 1+3, and over 25.5 par. We also got a lot on Draymond Green tonight, as he's been fantastic rebounding, and there should be a lot of rebound opportunities and assists. So Draymond Green over 13.5, and that's rebounds plus assists. Draymond Green, 8+ rebounds, 10+ rebounds, 6+ assists. We mentioned Josh Hart earlier as well, over 10.5 rebounds, as that number keeps creeping up. 12+ rebounds and 14+ rebounds. And also Steph Curry over 2.5 turnovers. We love Steph, but he is loosey with the ball, to say the least. So let's go through all these plays again in the Warriors Knicks game for you tonight. Warriors -1.5 first quarter, -3.5 first half, -6 for the game. Jonathan Kuminga, which I mentioned is our best bet of the night, over 17.5 points, also 20+ points, also 1+3. It was almost even money on the 1+3 on FanDuel to let you know as well. Kuminga over 25.5 par. Jalen Brunson, 30+ points. Then we like Steph Curry over 25.5 points, 5+ threes, 6+ threes. I hope Steph gets back to the 3 train. It wasn't necessarily there a bunch against the Lakers. Let's see if he gets some more open looks tonight. Steph Curry also over 2.5 turnovers. Josh Hart for the Knicks over 10.5 rebounds, 12+ rebounds, and 14+ rebounds. And then Draymond Green for the Warriors over 13.5 rebounds plus assists, 8+ rebounds, 10+ rebounds, and 6+ assists, right? If there wasn't enough games for you, here's some more. Next game up, Grizzlies Kings. On that one there, so let's take a look here. I do apologize there for a quick second. Computer malfunction, right? Grizzlies Kings, 10.5, 11-point game, depending on where you're looking. Total around, let's see, 211, 211.5. So the games have definitely gotten a lot tighter here in the second half since the All-Star break, to put it mildly, right? But they swallow the whistle maybe a little bit more, a little less foul call, which means a little less trips to the free throw line. Therefore, unders have been hit. Now, they were about even yesterday. I think they were 3 and 4 yesterday or something. So it's not like a huge trend, but overs were hitting at such an eclectic rate at the start of the season, kind of even itself out. I mean, the books kind of want it to be basically 50% both sides at the end of the season. That's normally that means they're handicapping the games correctly and well. But we will getting on there. So Grizzlies at the Kings, like I said, Grizzlies 11-point dog on the road at Sacramento. Now, they played twice before here. Sacramento covered this number in one game and then blew them out in the other. The Grizzlies cause a lot of problems for people when they're on the road. It's not necessarily that they're, how do I put this? Maybe in the first quarter, they don't come out and play 3-point defense against the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies hit some early threes, which tends to lead to a lot of first quarter covers. Just because we bet a lot of first quarters here, we see that quite a bit. The Grizzlies muck the game up enough on the road, and they seem to do better on the road than at home when it comes to mucking the game up. And the other thing is a lot of the other teams, maybe if somebody's got a lingering injury, they tend to sit this game against Memphis, as they don't have a lot of firepower. So the team's thinking that maybe they can get away with a win or two here or there. With giving a guy, they're not going to call it a rest game, due to 65, but, some sort of injury that's been nagging. Most of these guys are hurt somewhat, especially All-Star break plus. So, maybe sore ankle, sore knee or something. They'll sit out for a game when the Grizzlies come to town. We do like the Grizzlies in this spot here, though, as they, like I said, they just muck things up so much when they're on the road. So we'll take the Grizzlies plus the 3.5 first quarter, plus 6 first half, plus 11 for the game. De'Aaron Fox, under 24.5 points. He's not hit 24 points in either game against the Grizzlies. Fox under 35.5 par and under 2.5 threes. If they do get up huge in this game, Fox will be sitting anyway, so a good opportunity here to play the under. Jaren Jackson for the Grizzlies over 25.5 points, 2+ threes and 3+ threes, and over 31.5 par. As they don't have a lot of options here for scoring. Jackson, some of the other guys can contribute maybe 10, 12 points, but Jackson's going to be the primary scorer here. To be really honest, the Kings don't present a lot of defensively at home either. So we do like Jackson with those. Also, De'Aaron Fox over 2.5 turnovers. As he's turned the ball over 4 times in one game against them, 1 in the other. Domantas Sabonis over 2.5 turnovers. In both games, he has turned the ball over 3+ times against the Grizzlies as well in that one. So let's go back through all those Grizzlies and Kings bets. Grizzlies plus 3.5 first quarter, plus 6.5 first half, plus 11 for the game. De'Aaron Fox under 24.5 points, under 2.5 threes, under 35.5 par, and then also 2.5 turnovers. Domantas Sabonis under 41.5 par. I just think the main reason is he's not going to have to play a ton tonight. And then over 2.5 turnovers, like I mentioned, he's turned the ball over 3+ times in both games against the Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson over 31.5 par, 2+ threes, 3+ threes, and over 21.5 points. Next game up, in the last game of the night, Hawks going to the Lakers. Hawks coming off a back-to-back, playing the Clippers last night, getting an outright win. And we're not as big the Clippers, I think, were favored by more than this 9 number that the Hawks are seeing tonight going against the Lakers. Same floor. Had a good night again last night. The Lakers have been Anthony Davis, another game time decision, so I don't know if he's going to play or not. DeJounte Murray has been playing tremendous. Now, Jalen Johnson comes back last night. His point total does go down, but he's a lot more efficient with the ball and does make more threes. So it kind of, a little bit of this and it takes a little bit of that and gives a little bit here on that one. The Lakers, I never talked so much about a 9-10 seed in my life than we are with the Lakers. They're the Lakers. I love LeBron, don't get me wrong. Just because you bet against LeBron doesn't mean you hate LeBron. Betting is all about odds, math, making money, all that kind of stuff. I like AD too, but if everything it leans toward him going under or doing this, then you play the under and you take you make your bets. We're here to make money, folks. So that's the primary goal of what we're here for. I can bet under on a guy, no problem at all. And if he's going to beat it, they beat it. It's not that big of a deal. It's like, okay, you lost a bet. It happens. We're not going to go 100% on our bets, especially with the volume of bets that we throw out there. But it's been, it's just because we're going to bet against the Lakers tonight doesn't mean I don't want I hope the Lakers win by 8 and just don't cover the number. So, like I said, we will take the Hawks in this matchup here. We're taking the Hawks plus 3 first quarter, plus 5 first half, plus 9 for the game. Clint Capella for the Hawks, 10+ rebounds and 12+ rebounds. Austin Reeves for the Lakers, 3+ threes and over 16.5 points. I'm playing that thinking that AD might not play, especially if that eye's still swollen. Should be a few more opportunities out there for Reeves. And then we're also going to play a bunch of DeJounte Murray. Because like I said, he's been hot now. He only scored 21 in the last game, but he did have 5 threes. But it was a win against the Clippers. And I think the Clippers have a better defense overall than the Lakers do. So we'll take DeJounte Murray, 25+ points, 30+ points, 3+ threes, 4+ threes, 5+ threes, and over 38.5 par. So one more time in this Hawks and Lakers matchup. Hawks plus 3 first quarter, plus 5 first half, plus 9 for the game. DeJounte Murray, 25+ points, 30+ points, 3+ threes, 4+ threes, 5+ threes, and over 38.5 par. Austin Reeves over 16.5 points, 3 plus threes. And then Clint Capella for the Hawks, 10 plus rebounds and 12 plus rebounds. So I mentioned this a couple times before during the show. Make sure at the end of every episode that we do in the comment section, there will be a link to our Google Sheet. This is our betting ledger. It'll read docs.google.spreadsheet, bunch of other stuff behind it. Click into that. Once you get into the spreadsheet there, you'll see multiple sports. You'll see a couple seasons of football, a couple seasons of baseball, basketball, and then also golf, Formula One, UFC, kind of a miscellaneous or non-mainstream sports tab. Make sure you go to that tab, scroll all the way down to see the latest bets, because we keep them there for the whole season. So, I mean, we're in the 7,400s, for example, on this Google Sheet when it comes to basketball. We will also have some NCAA picks here shortly as well. And also, the Google Sheets are fantastic. If you don't have time to watch the show, you can click back into that link and see all of our bets that we got going on. So make sure you get a chance to get that done. And then, as always, if you could subscribe and get notifications to the YouTube channel, so that way we get, when we drop a new episode of bets, you get those first. Makes life really simple. Once you hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on for YouTube. You get a notification to your phone or device to let you know Sports Bets for Free has dropped a new episode of bets. And then try to match those up with your bets and give you that ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window. I do appreciate everybody's support as always and look forward to seeing you on the next episode.